All right. Good evening once again. Good evening once again. Just to confirm my audio again.
Good evening.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear you?
All right. We have been on mastering HTML tags and CSS basic because we understand that for us to be able to build professional websites, we need to understand the various functions that will help us to put the website together. So we decided to start with mastering these tags, which are also in a way described as functions under each of these languages we have been talking about. So we are learning HTML and CSS together. HTML help us to create. Okay, so like I was saying, the HTML is a markup language which helps us to develop our web contents and also to structure our website. And the CSS is for styling those contents in order to enhance their presentation to users, which at the end will help us to build a user-friendly website pages. So tonight we are focusing on another set of tags which are very much used in web coding or designing. So we are looking at HTML listing tag. HTML listing tag. If I may ask, have we done HTML anchor tag? Please confirm for me. I was thinking we have done HTML anchor tag. Have we done anything like linking pages together? Have we done anything like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I
So
think we did it.
yeah, just needed to confirm. So let me quickly create a new file just to anchor tonight's class. So I will just name it list.html. So like I said, um, let me activate my basic HTML structure. Um, I will just redefine my header or my document heading as the topic of this section, which is HTML listing tags. HTML listing tags. Now, just to use comments to explain the topic. So HTML listing tag. So what do we actually mean by HTML listing tag? So I'm going to express this in the application angle or from the application angle. In other words, how do we use it? What are the use cases of these tags? Just like the way we learned the use cases of heading tag, P tag, that is paragraph tag, image tag, video tag. I told us from the beginning that when learning these tags, you have to learn them beyond just knowing their functions. You need to also know when to use them when you are developing your website. So just to explain the application of the listing tag. So I'm going to put it this way. So supposing you are asked to build a website for a business person, and the person wants you to mention the list of his or her services on a particular page, let's say the service page. How are you going to mention them? For example, we offer the following services. 1, computer training. 2, let's say web development. 3, data analytics. 4, cyber security. So you can see the way I am listing the services we offer on this platform. Now, for me to be able to organize that in my web page, I will definitely need this set of tags. So we can actually divide, or let me just give us a proper definition of what HTML listing tags are. So HTML listing tags, or let me put it this way, HTML provides tags to create lists, which are essential for organizing and presenting content in a structured manner. In a structured manner. So you can see it now. That is, whenever your emphasis is on structuring or having a particular organization of your listing, you need this set of tags. So we have 3 types of HTML listing tags. We have the one we call the order lists. So just to explain, we have the order lists. We have the order lists. Now, the order list is denoted, that is represented with OL. So there is a tag called OL, which signify order list. As the name implies order, it means that what? The item you are mentioning are properly what? Structured. And the way we can differentiate, okay, let me just mention all of them first. So we also have the on order list, which is represented with UL. Okay, so whenever you start with OL, it means you are defining order list. An order list have a marker. A marker in this case represents the number or the alphabet or the Roman number that helps users or your visitor to differentiate one item from the other, or that helps them to trace the item within your web page. So whenever you use 1, 2, 3, that is number, or you use alphabet, or you use Roman figure number, that falls under order list. Okay, so the advantage of order list is that you can count the item easily, because in the case of an order list, the items will be mentioned, but you are going to use a shape. It could be a circular shape, it could be a square shape, it could be any shape to enhance or to differentiate the item. Now, it means that if you want to count them, you will have to go by counting them manually, unlike the order list where you could just look at the last number, because if you number item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So looking at the last one, 10, has already informed you how many items are there. But if I use on order, which is represented with shape, I will have to count. So why I am explaining this is for us to know that they both have different strengths, despite that they are indirectly used for the same purpose. Now, let's quickly look at the third one, which sometimes is not mostly used. We have the definition list. The definition list, which is denoted with DL, which is denoted with DL. Now, I'm going to start the most used list type for creating content across most websites are the order list and the unordered list. So I will try and see if I can. Definitely may not be able to conclude the three of them in tonight's section. So by tomorrow, same time, 8:30, I'll be live to see how we can do justice to all this and, if possible, introduce new tags. So let me start with the order list. So what is the development task? What are we asked to do? Build a web page and web page that displays my products or services. So let's assume we are given this task as a developer, and this is the page. Okay, so I am going to start with OL. I will just type OL and press enter, and that will open, that will declare the tag. Now, this OL, like I mentioned before, the work of this OL is just to define the type of marker that will be used to differentiate the item you want to list. Now, I'll quickly class it in case I reuse it within the same page. Remember, I have taught us the concept of classing your element. In case you are using the same tag to create different content within a web page, there is need for you to class them in order for you to be able to speak CSS to them separately. Are we communicating? Let me get a response from you. All right. So I will just call this one
Yeah.
OL1. Now, if I go to the front end, you will discover that nothing will be outputted until you populate the tag with the content, the actual content you want to mention vertically. Okay, so I'm waiting for the front end to open so that we can see, so that while we are developing, we can be checking how it will be presented to the visitors of my website. So as you can see, that tag has not created any content because the role of that tag is to add marker to content, and the content has not been created. So now, for you to call or mention the content, you have to use another sub tag called LI. So this LI is what actually represents the list we are talking about. So the list, that is the LI tag, is actually used to create content for the container or for the markers OL. So if I write web development, and I go back to the front end, you see that what? You have just what? Listed what? One item. And in case you are wondering, how did this one came about? Which code generated the one? That is the OL. Now, let me show you the difference. If I come here now and I say UL and I press enter, and then I also declare the item with the same LI, because LI is a tag which is used to give or create content for both OL and what UL. If I go back to the front end, you see the difference. The OL created this one that has a marker 1, 2, 3, that's number. And the UL created this one that has a dot as a shape. So if you are familiar with Microsoft Word, that is what we know as bullet and numbering. So bullet in this case is the UL, while numbering in this case is the OL. So I hope you understand that. Did you get that? Did you
Got
understand?
it.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. So now I want to add more item here. So I will say LI again.
Yeah, understood.
We offer cyber security training. Cyber security training, which is going to probably start next week. So we are going to open a slot for cyber security training. I want to mention another item. Let's say data analytics. Data analytics. I want to call more item list. Let's say word processing. Okay, so if I go to the front end and you see that what I have been able to create a list of 4 services or program that we offer training on this platform called Digital Z Hub. So now this is a web page, but you are supposed to attach a heading that describes what these items are. So when somebody gets to this website, how will he or she know what you are talking about? What actually brought about all this? So what I will simply do is to come before the OL and the space, then come here and write maybe heading tag. I say what? Our services. Our services. Let's put column here. So if I go back to the front end and there you get it. Okay. Now that is for the OL. Now, like I said before, that the OL can generate 3 markers. The one that is programmed by default is the number, and that is why you can see number 1, number 2. Supposing the client says, in the place of this number, I want them to be alphabet. That is 1 become A, 2 become B. So how do you solve that? So that will now bring what we call order list, type, attributes. Remember, I have explained what attribute is before now. I told us then that attributes provide additional information about HTML tag or content. So now I'm going to simply, and attributes are usually introduced in the opening section of your HTML tag. So I will have to come in here, space, and then type what? Type. So once I enter type, if I put capital letter A, and then I go back to the front end, you can see that what I have been able to change the marker to alphabet. Can you hear me? I hope you are with me.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Now, I mentioned 3 marker. I've showed you 1. I've showed you alphabet. Now, supposing you are also asked to use Roman number. Let's say what? I. That is Roman number. So how do you go about that? In fact, if I want to use small letter A instead of capital letter A, it's just for you to put lowercase alphabet. And if you come back to the front end, and then you can see it reflected. Now, if I want to use Roman figure, I will just put letter I, either capital letter or small letter. Then if I go back to the front end, and then you can see it. Okay, so anytime you are building a website and you are asked to list item either with any of these three markers that are under OL, I want to believe you know how to do it. Now, if, for example, I want this item to be listed, but I don't want the marker to be there. Are you following? I don't want any of the marker to be there. So all I need is to display them what? Block. So let me just add as an inline CSS just to quickly solve that. So I will just say what? Display, and then I will say block. Then if I go back to the front end, okay, so that could not do it. So what I'm going to do here is let me say display none if this does not work, and then I have to move on. So I'll take care of that properly when I get to CSS. So display none, that actually what turns it off. Okay, so let's just leave that for now so that we'll not be distracted, because I want to really cover the both. Now I want to quickly shift my attention to the UL. Okay, so by tomorrow, I should be able to deal with the CSS aspect where I will explain that better. Now, for the UL, I want to copy everything I have written here because the same list tag can actually create content for both of them. So I will just come here and then paste them here. So if I come back to the page and then I have the item also listed. Now, if I want to also change these icons to my own icon, so what I'm going to do, I think what I'm going to do is to add, that is what we call, let me use comment, which is UL style, because we are using CSS here, style attributes, sorry, style, UL style. Okay, so we can say attribute as well. Let me see, attributes. Now, for example, by default, what we have is this small icon. If I want to use a more design icon, which I probably sketch or design with any of the graphics app, so I can come here, go to my browser, and then I'll simply say check icon. Let's say I want to use one of these as my marker in the place of those small dots. So I hope it will come up on time. So let's assume I want to use something like this as my marker. So I will download it and then save it in my image folder. So I go to my root. I think I'm working with this, and then go inside image and then just name it icon. Let me just put that, sorry, icon. Then I save. So if I go back to my development environment and I want to use it, so I will just class, let me class with the name UL1. So let me just do internal CSS style just to enhance the process. So I will just say UL1. UL1, open my CSS block. So I will just say list type. I will use this. Okay, list type. I will use this. And then because the picture is an external object, it's not embedded in this editor, we simply use URL to enable me to call it from its location. So I'll slash, and then I'm going here and then I'm selecting what? The icon. So if I go back to the front end of this site, you see that what? The icons are there, have replaced the default. But one challenge is that the icons are too big. So how do I resize it? To resize it, since this was not created as an image, you call it from your CSS, so it's not registered in your HTML document. So I have to go to the file. I have to go to desktop and use Paint to resize it. Go to the folder where you store it, which is, I think, online. Where is the folder here? Online. Where is it? Okay. So, which is this? And then I'll go in here. This is the picture. So what I will simply do is to right click on it and then select open with Paint. So Paint is an inbuilt photo editor, which is already in every operating system, but it could have different version. So now I'm going to use it to quickly resize the picture. And then once I save it here, it will automatically update in my website. Now you come to this icon here, click on it, and then you see that the image is sized in percentage. So just switch from percentage to pixel, and then you can see the reason why it appeared too big. So what I'll simply do is to change it to like 30, and then click. Now you must not save as, because if you save as, it will not update the copy in your web page. So instead, just update it by just selecting this. Now, if I go back to the web page, you see that what? I have been able to what? To resize the icon. So this is more professional compared to what was there. Am I communicating?
Good.
Okay. So for any reason you don't want, this is what I was trying to achieve the other time. If for any reason, for example, sorry,